Hello students, today we'll start with a new lesson that is reaching the age of adolescence. First point that we are going to discuss is adolescence and puberty. Now what is adolescence? It is the period of life between 11 years and 19 years when the body undergoes changes leading to reproductive maturity is called adolescence. In simple words, you'll find many changes taking place in our body, especially the reproductive organs develop, and this is called as adolescence age, right? This happens between 11 years and 11 to 19 years, right? And the children are called as, or the children which lie in this age group are called as adolescents. During this period, the adolescents are also called as teenagers, right? The next point is puberty. During adolescence, the body undergoes several changes and becomes capable of reproduction. These changes are the beginning of puberty. In simple words, during puberty, you'll find there are many changes taking place in our body. Changes during puberty. Now, what are the changes taking place in our body? First one is increase in height, right? Then we have change in the body shape, voice change, increased activity of sweat and the sebaceous glands, development of sex organs, reaching mental, intellectual, and emotional maturity. So, these are the changes that take place during puberty. First one is increase in height. By the age of 11, a boy reaches about 80% of his height, and a girl reaches about 88% of her height. Initially, girls grow faster than boys, right? You may see girls growing faster, and this happens. By about 18 years of age, both boys and girls reach their maximum height. So, by 18, they'll reach their maximum height. Generally, the height is similar to the parents because it depends on the genes inherited from the parents. Yes, most of the time we'll see the height of the children is somewhat similar to their parents because this is a character which is inherited from the parents to the offsprings. The next change is the change in the body shape. During puberty, boys have broader shoulders and wider chest due to the faster growth of muscles. Yes, you will see the shoulders become wide, right? Even the chest size increases. This is because of the growth of muscles. In girls, the breast begins to develop and the region below the waist becomes wider. So, these are the changes in the girls, right? Next is the voice change. During puberty in boys, the voice box, which is also called as the larynx, becomes larger and is seen as a swelling in the throat called the Adam's apple. Yes, students, you must have seen there is a swelling near the throat which takes place, and that is nothing but the Adam's apple, and their voice becomes deep and hoarse. That is, it becomes rough, right? In girls, the voice box is smaller and their voice is high pitched, right? Later, their voice becomes normal. High pitched means sometimes it is unpleasant and loud. The next point is increased activity of sweat and the sebaceous glands. During puberty, the secretion of sweat and the sebaceous glands, that is the oil glands, increases, and many teens get acne and pimples on their face. Now, what is acne? It is nothing but the blackheads or pimples, you can say, or even whiteheads which take place or which appear on the face, and this happens during the puberty time. The next point is development of sex organs. During puberty in boys, the testes and the penis develop completely and produces sperms. In girls, the ovaries develop completely and produces eggs. Right? So this is another change which takes place during the puberty. Reaching mental, intellectual, and emotional maturity. During puberty, boys and girls' mental, intellectual, and emotional development takes place. That is, mentally they are very strong. Intellectual is, they are very smart. They start thinking about thing, or they can take decisions, you can say. Emotional, they get attached to others easily. They develop emotions about others. So these are the changes that take place during the puberty time. They become more independent, self conscious, and their way of thinking changes. So these are the things which take place. Next is secondary sexual characters. Secondary sexual characters are the changes which take place during puberty. In boys, hairs begin to grow on the face and they develop beards and mustaches. Hair also grows in the chest, armpit, and the pubic region. The testis starts to produce sperms. In girls, their breast develops and hair grows in the armpit and the pubic region. The ovary starts to produce eggs. These changes are controlled by chemical substances called hormones produced by the endocrine gland. Right? There is an endocrine system which produces hormones. These are nothing but the chemical substances which play a very important role in our body, because you know any development which takes place is controlled by these hormones. The male hormone which controls the secondary sexual character is called the testosterone. It is produced in the testis. The female hormone which controls secondary sexual characters is called the estrogen. It is produced in the ovary. Right? So these are the male and the female hormones. The production of these hormones is controlled by another gland called the pituitary gland. So here the hormonal hormones are playing a very important role. Reproductive phase in humans. The capacity for reproduction starts at puberty. Right? It is the puberty time when an individual can reproduce. It lasts for a longer time in males than in females. In females, the capacity for reproduction starts at puberty and lasts for about 40 to 50 years. Menstruation. Now, what is menstruation? In females, the ovary produces one egg every month, and the uterus prepares to receive the fertilized egg. Right? So every month you will see an ovary is giving out an egg, right? And the uterus is ready to receive the fertilized egg. The fertilized egg is nothing but when a male and female gamete fuse, uh, fertilization takes place, right? That is what we are talking about. Its wall, that is the uterus wall, becomes thick with blood vessels. If fertilization doesn't or does not take place, then the uterus wall breaks and comes out of the vagina as blood and mucus. This cycle takes place once every month and is called the menstruation. Right? The beginning of the menstrual cycle is called the menarche, and when the menstrual cycle stops at 40 to 50 years, it is called as menopause. Sex determination in humans. Human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes in the nucleus of the cell. Yes, students, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes in the nucleus of the cell. Out of these, two chromosomes are sex chromosomes called X and Y chromosomes, and the other one are responsible for the body growth, right? These two decide the sex, and the other are responsible for the growth of the body, or we can say they are bodily chromosomes. The female has two X chromosomes, and a male has one X chromosome and one Y chromosome, right? The sperms and the eggs have one set of sex chromosomes. Some sperms have X chromosome and some have Y chromosomes. All eggs have X chromosomes. So when you talk about a male gamete, it may carry X chromosome, sometimes it may carry Y chromosome, right? All eggs, when you talk about, they carry X chromosomes. In If a sperm having X chromosome fuses with an egg having X chromosome, the child will be a girl. Yes, if you see both the chromosomes are X chromosomes, the child is going to be a girl. If you see that there is one X chromosome and one Y chromosome, then the child is going to be a boy. So, this is how we can determine the sex of an small child. Endocrine glands and their function. Endocrine glands produce chemical substances called hormones, which controls different functions in the body. The main endocrine glands are pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, testes, and ovary. First one is the pituitary gland, which is also called as the master gland, which is located in the head, right? Which controls growth and production of hormones by testes and the ovary. Then comes the thyroid gland, produces thyroxine. Its deficiency causes goiter, that is swelling of the throat. Next one is the adrenal gland, produces adrenaline. It helps the body to adjust to the stress when we are angry or worried. Next is the pancreas, produces insulin. Its deficiency causes diabetes. Testis produces testosterone, which controls production of sperms and secondary sexual characters in males. Next one is ovary, which produces estrogen, which controls production of eggs and secondary sexual characters in female. So these are the glands and the hormones produced by them. Next is the reproductive health. To keep the body healthy, everyone should have a balanced diet, personal hygiene, and physical exercise. First one is balanced diet. Is very important, students, right? Is a diet which contains nutrients in the right amount. Balanced diet should contain cereals, vegetables, fruits, pulses, milk, nuts, meat, eggs, sugar, jaggery, etc. So everything is important for a body in right proportion. Personal hygiene. Everyone should have a bath at least once every day. If cleanliness of a body is not done, there can be bacterial infection and diseases. Next is physical exercise. Walking, playing outdoor games, and exercise keeps the body healthy. So, all these three things are very important, right? Next is say no to drugs. Drugs are addictive. That is, once if you start using drugs, you become addicted to that, and it is very difficult to leave using them, right? If you take them once, you feel taking it again and again. They ruin health and happiness. AIDS is dangerous disease caused by the HIV virus. AIDS spreads from an infected person to a healthy person by sexual contacts, sharing syringes used for injecting drugs. It is also transferred from the mother to a child through her milk. So it's very important, students, that we say no to drugs.